Dear students, good afternoon. Myself Dr. A.K. Jha, Associate Professor Surgery, NMC, here. Today, I will discuss about treatment program of burns. Headings are first aid, treatment of burns of local treatment, general treatment. Treatment program of burns include first aid, treatment of burns of local treatment, general treatment. In previous class, I have already talked about first aid. What we do in first aid, we have already discussed, just I will tell you in short. First aid, when patient comes to you, do immersion in cold water. Immerse the patient in cold water. What it does? It reduces pain, exudation and shock. First point in first aid. Second is cover the burn area with clean material such as polythene membrane or plastic bags, etc. Third is give sedatives to the patient to minimize the pain. Next, apply ointment over the burnt area. Ointment applied is silver sulfate diazine. Next, we give IV fluid, intravenous fluid, to counter shock. And if in case of chemical burns, do thorough dosing of the burnt area with water. And if it is acid burn, apply sodium bicarb over burnt area, or if it is alkali burn, then apply vinegar or acetic acid over it. Last but not the least is avoid undue cooling because of first aid. Now we come to treatment of the burn shock. Now we should revise the definition of shock. What is a shock? Shock is a life-threatening situation. In most cases, it is due to poor perfusion of tissues along with impaired cell metabolism, manifesting in turn to serious pathophysiological abnormalities. You must memorize this definition of shock. For treating burn shock, we have to consider percentage of burn area. Take into account percentage of burn area. Second is take weight of the patient. Weight of patient. Third is method of IV administration. IV transfusion. Method of IV transfusion. Fourth thing is fluid to be transfused. Fluid to be transfused. Fifth is volume of fluid to be transfused. Volume of fluid. Volume of fluid to be transfused. Sixth is progress and control assessment. Next is urine output. Blood transfusion. Sedation. And oral fluid. These are the headings under which we will discuss it. How we are going to treat a burn shock. First, determine percentage of burnt area with help of Wallace rule of 9. Okay. Next, take weight of the patient. What is the weight of the patient? Next is method of IV transfusion. How we are going to transfuse fluid. In burn shock patient with collapsed vein, we go for cut down. We do venesection for starting transfusion. Fluid to be transfused. What are the fluid that are transfused in case of burn? Ideal is dextran, plasma, electrolytes also Ringer's lactate, and to some amount 5% dextrose for nutritional purpose. These are the fluids that are used in case of burner. Dextran, plasma, Ringer's lactate, 5% dextrose. Now we come to volume of fluid to be transfused. What will be the volume of fluid? How much fluid to transfuse? This is very important. Volume of fluid. There are two formulas for this. One is Muir-Berkeley formula and another is Parkland formula. Muir and Berkeley. Second is Parkland formula. Right? We erase this. Muir and Berkeley formula. Plan is to transfuse 6 rations of fluid, dextran, plasma, of 5% dextrose for nutrition purpose during 36 hours. 6 rations of fluid during 36 hours. 3 rations are transfused during first 12 hours. 2 rations are transfused during second 12 hour and 1 ration is transfused during third 12 hour. How to determine volume of 1 ration? For that we take help of Berkeley, Muir and Berkeley formula. Here 1 ration ml is equal to weight of patient into percentage of work divided by 2. ml. This is 1 ration. This is 1 ration. Suppose patient weight is 80 kg, burnt area is 30%, then 1 ration will be 80 into 30 divided by 2 is equal to 1200 ml. 1200 ml. So if 1 ration is 1200 ml, then first 12 hours 3600 ml of fluid, that is dextran plasma, is transfused. During second 12 hour, 2 ration, that is 2400 ml of fluid is transfused. And during third 12 hour, 1 ration, that is 200 ml of fluid is transfused. This is Muir and Berkeley formula. Now, Second method is Parkland formula. Parkland formula. This is an alternative option in case of burn. Alternative option. What is the principle? Principle is we transfuse electrolytes, that is RL, and to some extent 5% dextrose for nutritional purpose during first 24 hours. We transfuse electrolytes during first 24 hours. What will be the volume of fluid? Volume of electrolyte to be transfused? And it is 3 ml per kg per percent of burn. So suppose weight of patient is 80 kg, percentage of burn is 30, then the volume will be 3 into 80 into 30 ml. So it is 4800 ml.
शुरू देना हुआ है ये शुरू है
हाँ this volume is transfused during first 24 hours. The fluid is electrolytes, that is Ringer's lactate. In case of child, volume transfused is determined by this formula 4 ml per kg per percent of burn. In child, we give 4 ml per kg per percent of burn. This is Parkland formula. So, by these two formulae, Wheeler and Bartlett and Parkland formula, we determine the volume of the fluid to be transfused. Now we come to progress and control. Assessment. How we assess progress and control of the patient condition? We take help of pulse rate, blood pressure, urine output. If condition deteriorates, salt is increasing, then pulse rate will increase, BP will decrease, urine output will decrease. If patient condition deteriorates, pulse rate will increase, BP will decrease, urine output will decrease. Now we come to urine output. We monitor urine output. Ideal urine output is, in normal conditions, urine output should be 30 to 50 ml per hour. 30 to 50 ml per hour. Urine output is normal. It indicates there is a proper renal perfusion. If you not do 30 to 12 per month, it gets normal renal perfusion. That is, shock condition of patient is improving, has improved. Next is blood transfusion. And 20 to 25% deeper first ration is replaced by second ration is replaced by blood. In 20-25% people, second ration is replaced by blood. In 25 to 50% per deeper second and sixth ration is replaced by blood. This is blood requirement. 20-25% people, second ration replaced by blood. 25 to 50% deeper, second and sixth ration is replaced by blood. Sedation. Sedatives are used to decrease pain. Last is oral fluid. Oral fluid. Water is required for metabolic fluid requirement. For that purpose, we start giving oral fluid with 60 ml per hour. We can go up to 100 ml per hour if there is no nausea. If the burn is more than 35%, we apply Ray's tube and do hourly aspiration before giving oral fluid. This is how we treat burn sore. Now we come to local treatment. Third is local treatment. Local treatment. Aim of local treatment is to get a skin cover as soon as possible and to prevent infection in the meantime. This is the aim of local treatment. What are the type of local treatment? First is exposure treatment. Second is dressing. In exposure treatment, when we do exposure treatment? When there is partial thickness skin burn in head and neck or one surface of chest or extremities, then we go for exposure treatment. What we do here? We clean the area, apply ointment over it, and leave the area exposed. We let it to dry and facilitate scab formation. This is exposure treatment. At other places, we do dressing. When there is deep burn, we do dressing. this dressing comprises of 3 layers. First layer is ointment. After cleaning the wound, we apply ointment. Then we apply gauze. And over the top we apply wool. And do the bandaging. So this is called dressing. In case of deep burns. Now, a specialized type of treatment, local treatment, a specialized local treatment. A specialized local treatment. In case of partial thickness burn, it is same as exposure treatment. In full thickness burn, full thickness burn. A skin grafting, there are 2 options. First is, a skin grafting is done after separation of slough, that is 2 to 3 weeks later. Second option is excision of dead tissue and skin grafting. This is done 5 to 6 days after burn. So there are 2 options in full thickness burn. Either apply skin grafting after separation of slough, that is after 2 to 3 weeks, or do excision of dead tissue and apply skin grafting after 5 to 6 days. Full thickness burn. In case of deep dermal burn, what is done? We do tangential excision and split thickness skin grafting. Here we do tangential excision and split thickness skin grafting. Now we come to general treatment. General treatment. First is barrier nursing. Barrier nursing to prevent infection. How we do it? We designate a separate area, use special beds with slings, provide nets, and we discourage entry of more attendants. Main aim is nurse the patient in a separate area with aseptic precautions so that there is no infection. This is barrier nursing. Second is respiratory damage control. respiratory damage control. If there is burn of face, what happens here? Patient may inhale fumes, and this leads to edema of glottis, bronchial spasm, and may also cause pulmonary edema. Edema of glottis, bronchial spasm, and pulmonary edema. These are the three complications which may occur if patient inhales fumes. How we are going to treat this condition? We ask the patient to do physiotherapy. We help the patient for physiotherapy by physiotherapy. Then by breathing humidified air and oxygen. We give humidified air and oxygen to the patient to breathe. Third is bronchodilators, drugs. Fourth is antibiotics after sputum culture. We take culture of sputum and after the result is available, sensitivity is available, then we provide appropriate antibiotics. Last but not the least, if there is respiratory problem, we go for endotracheal intubation. It is considered better than tracheostomy. Okay? By this way, we do respiratory damage control. Third is sedation. Sedatives are required. Fourth is antibiotics. Fifth is proteins, high dose of proteins. These proteins stimulates healing. These proteins stimulates healing, and at the same time they make up for protein loss during catabolism. So this high dose of proteins are given. Now immunization. Right, blood transfusion. Late blood transfusion. As we have already discussed, if the patient becomes anemic, so in the latter part of treatment, we can also transfuse blood transfusion, and in the last, immunization. Immunization. Immune status of the patient becomes low. So we do convalescent, we give convalescent serum or Pseudomonas vaccination to elevate the immune status of the patient. These are points for general treatment: barrier nursing, respiratory damage control, sedation, antibiotics, high dose of protein, blood transfusion, and immunization. We will talk about certain special type of burns. Special type of burn. Number one is circumferential burn. Circumferential burn. In this burn, whole circumference of the part is burned. Due to that, what happens? The skin later on shrinks and it produces certain problems. If the circumferential burn involves chest and neck, due to constriction of shrinkage of the skin, it may produce respiratory problem. If this burn occurs in limb, whole circumference of the limb is burned. In that case, due to shrinkage of skin, that may lead to venous congestion or ischemia and sometimes even gangrene. Treatment is sclerotomy. What we do? We do immediate release by longitudinal incision going up to healthy and yielding subcutaneous or subfacial layer. This is also known as sclerotomy. We do the release, we release the pressure. Immediate release by this sclerotomy. This is circumferential burn. Second type is pulmonary burn, which we have already discussed. Third is electric burn. Electric burn is localized and deep burn, and if the patient survives initial shock, then treatment is done and that treatment is complicated. Okay? Fourth is eye burn. Eye burn, we will know about it in description of eye when you will read about eye. Okay. Now, complications of burn. Late complications of burn. Late complications of burn. First is acute duodenal ulcer. In case of burn, patient may develop this acute duodenal ulcer. Yes, stress factor plays a major role. Acute duodenal ulcer. Second is protein losing enteropathy. Protein losing enteropathy. Third is chronic renal failure. Chronic renal failure. Fourth is immune deficiency. Immune deficiency. And last but not the least is due to chronic scarring that may lead to margarine ulcer. These are the late complications of acute renal ulcer, protein enteropathy, chronic renal failure, immune deficiency, and marginal ulcers. Okay, thank you.